Hello and welcome to SSI News on Location. I'm Nathan Abernethy.
And I'm Katya O'Leary.
And we're here for another exciting week of SSI. This is week one, and the business tracks are going this week. And for more information about that, Luke Mason has interviewed both members of the business track and members of the legislative tracks.
What are your initial thoughts regarding your track and your strategies for this week?
Well, I like the system of the two groups going against each other and having the two different bills and everything, like one that, you probably should win, some you shouldn't.
I think the topics we have are very interesting. We have a lot of good arguments already set up, so Justice Red should beware.
Well, the business track involves six companies, I do that every time. 6 companies that start out with identical circumstances, and people don't understand that, but the students don't have any opportunity to begin with better stuff than anyone else. They're selling electronic sensors, all of the products are exactly alike, companies have the exact same amount of cash, all their same resources. And so it's similar to a NASCAR race where they try to have identical cars, and it just comes down to who's the best driver.
What do you think of the business track as a whole?
It's confusing, but once I feel like we'll figure it out, and once we do, it's gonna be very entertaining.
How do you think your team's going to do?
I think we'll do well, but it's a competition to bring the best product to consumers, not to beat out each other.
It's kind of a lot to process, but I think our team has got some of the basics down. We've got where we want to go, and we've got a plan. It's just a matter of whether we want to take which strategy to get there.
Do you think you're going to be able to beat the other teams this year?
I hope so.
Thank you, Luke.
Today, the House of Representatives visited the Capitol in Lansing. They toured the building and heard from Alan Cropsey and Burton Leland, former Michigan state legislators, about their time in the House and Senate and their time as political counterparts. Students will be returning to the Capitol on Wednesday and Friday in preparation for their final speech.
The Feats of Strength are back, and for more coverage on that, we cut to Amanda Norman.
The SSI Feats of Strength are an annual SSI activity in which students are divided into teams and pitted against each other in various games. This year's game maker is Amy Chauvin, and we interviewed her earlier this morning.
Expect to run a little bit, expect to crawl a very little bit, but it will happen. You might be expected to eat and expect to have fun. I'm not planning on making any big changes for the sports challenge. For the most part, the games are going to be very similar to things we've done in the past. One thing that I will be changing from last year is that we will not be keeping the caucuses together in the teams. We'll be trying to mix people from all across the tracks.
We also spoke with Dee Lloyd, the camp nurse, about some safety considerations leading up to the challenge.
You're required to wear closed-toed shoes, no white t-shirts. There's going to be a lot of running around and grabbing of things, so be mindful of that. And I hear you have to eat something, but I'm not going to tell you what.
If anyone happens to get hurt, they should contact an ADC or chaperone, and they'll get Dee Lloyd for you. We also had the chance to ask both Amy and Dee about the potential for a fatality.
No comment.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that with you.
Should we expect any fatalities this year?
No.
Good luck tomorrow, and may the odds ever be in your favor.
Just as a reminder, all SSI students, regardless of track, will be required to participate in the sports challenge. Teams will be posted tomorrow outside the SSI office.
The mock press conference occurred earlier today. Mr. Muffet presented a compelling argument yet again. The students reacted, some with excitement and some with horror.
Maybe in Michigan, the solution to really ensure a healthy generation is to issue a ban on video games from anyone playing them or selling them to anyone under 25.
Well, Mr. Muffet, obviously this is a matter of deep concern for the American public. Why do you think it's taken so long for a bill like this to be proposed?
Well, as you know, video games didn't really come around until the 1970s, and so the problems grew and grew and grew, and now they've just become so large, they're at epic proportions, and we feel like we have to do something.
And what would you say was the main inspiration, personally, for this bill?
Well, to be honest with you, a Facebook post of one of my friends whose daughter was extremely addicted to video games, And that got me thinking, is there something as a lawmaker that I could do to help, this situation?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for watching this edition of SSI News on Location.
We'll be back at the same time Wednesday evening.